today I am going to be showing you exactly how to lift weights. Now, there's a lot of science out there that's really beneficial about muscular hypertrophy, specifically growing your muscles. And there's also a lot of myths and things that people do wrong in the gym. You can use this video like a library, like a resource. Below, you will see different body parts. Here is how you want to structure your weightlifting workouts. You are going to pick 2 body parts, 2 to 4 exercises per body part, and you are going to hammer them. Science has shown that training close to failure is what you need for optimal muscular growth. I got my buddy AMG Muscle here to help us out. Let's go. He's gonna be helping us with form and how to basically structure your workout, the intensity. When you go into the gym, what I want you to do is get warm in any way. A lot of people just walk on the treadmill, and then you wanna do 2 to 3 sets hard, and you're trying to hit above 5 reps and below 30 reps. The amount of reps actually isn't as important as we once thought. Science shows us that you have to train hard, close to failure. That is almost more important. So as far as structuring workouts, what are some common splits? We have all the body parts below in this video, the main things. We're talking chest, shoulders, back, biceps, triceps, quad focus legs, glute focus legs, some abs. Now, how do you like to set up your kind of week and structure?
The way I do mine is push, pull, press, and then I go to legs. So then it keeps my upper body to rest for 3 days for each body part, and then hit the legs really hard.
Absolutely. And for the young lifters that might not understand, why might you not want to pair something like a leg day and a back day?
Because those are the 2 biggest muscle groups in your whole entire body. Your legs have 1/3 of all your muscles, and your back has 1/3 of all your muscles too. And that takes up a lot of energy to even lift those lift weights to work your back and your legs. And when you do those workouts, you're gonna wanna go really heavy because these are big muscles.
Let's get to it right now. Let's start showing you form on some of these critical exercises. Let's go get it. Guys, also to tell you, we're doing every exercise today. I'm not gonna be lifting the real weight that I lift. I'm gonna be grabbing something light, like some 30s or whatever, to show you the form with a little bit of resistance. But obviously, if we just did every single body part to failure, we would die. So yeah, we're not gonna do that. Let's go show you some chest exercises. Let's get all aspects of the chest with the right form. Let's go get it. So we are at the dumbbell bench. So you can do a barbell bench. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it, except it does rotate your scapula a bit forward. And it's a great skill to learn. If you like it, do it. But a more injury-friendly version is gonna be a dumbbell bench, and you're still gonna be able to pack on just as much muscle, maybe more, some say, with a dumbbell bench. So you're gonna get some weight. When I'm typically doing these right now, I'm grabbing about 70s. Again, I'm picking a weight that I can do around, 8, 9, 10, 12 reps to where those last reps are to failure. I put the weight right here. I get a firm grip. Studies have shown that your grip actually helps your shoulder stability. I'm falling back like this, I get the weight to right here. Now this is really crucial. I am not letting my elbows flare out here. The weight is somewhat around the line of my nipples right here. Yes, right there. You don't want it way down here. That's gonna be something else. Right at your nipple line, and my elbows are basically at this 45-ish degree angle. You can find something that's comfortable around here, but you don't wanna be way out here, and you don't wanna be in like this. Find something comfortable right here. I'm gonna press the weight up, and I'm gonna bring the weight slightly together. This will be common in a lot of the chest exercises, both myself and AMG show you guys. It should converge a little bit.
Try to keep a little bend in the elbows though.
Yes, absolutely. A little bend in the elbows. You do not need to lock out. And now pacing when doing exercises. AMG and I were talking about this. Everyone has their thing. For injury prevention and just, to be optimal, I like a nice controlled eccentric and a firm explosive rep, but nothing crazy. Yes. I like going something like that.
Yep. And make sure you get a good squeeze on the top. Yes. It's like a 1-2, come down, 1, 2.
Boom, and I can feel my pecs right now. And AMG, what do you like to do with your feet here, as far as your feet and back and everything? Can you walk the people through that?
Yeah, so when any bench press you're doing, you want to keep your back flat and your feet on the ground.
So you don't want to do some weird stuff. I've seen people come up here, and that's all good for a little warm-up thing or whatever, but when you're actually lifting weights, you want to be here, just like that. Now we are at the incline bench. How do you like to set up the incline bench for best chest growth?
So what I like to do is keep the incline at a 30 degree so it hits the more meatier part of the upper chest. Because if you go a little too high in the angle like a 45, then you start hitting the shoulder, and that's when people start to get little shoulder issues. But right here at 30, this is where I had the most results.
Absolutely. So for people that don't know the angle 30 degree, it's going to be something like this. Something like that is fine. Once you start to get up to like here, you're starting to hit a lot of those anterior delts. And now this is one I see people butcher the form of incline press a lot. Same setup, grip those dumbbells, fall back. Now, so often on incline press, people flare out like crazy. That is not what you want to do. Again, you want to keep your elbows slightly in, find what's comfortable, but something around there. And then as far as the pressing arc for these, you want to press up like this. You don't want to press out forward in front of you. This would be wrong, like this. And you don't want to press all the way behind your head like this, okay? That's not right. So again, I'm at pretty much my nipple line. I'm gonna press up to where my eyes can kind of see the weight. I'm bringing it together to contract, just like this. And AMG, is this one a staple in your chest routine? Do you like incline bench?
Yes, I love incline bench. That's the first, for chest days, the first workout I do is incline chest, either Smith machine or flat barbell or dumbbell. Always hit this first.
And as far as the flat bench versus this incline, can you talk to them about some of the differences of those two exercises?
I just know a lot of people are lacking in the upper part of the chest. So it's always good to hit this part first, the upper part, because you're already a little spent. So when you go to do your flat bench, your weight will not be as high, but you can get more reps. And that's the meatier part of your chest. So as long as you have good contraction, your chest is gonna grow.
Now it is very crucial to throw in some type of seated chest press. If your gym is lucky enough to have a machine like this, which a lot do, get on one of these, or you can find those other ones at commercial gyms that are similar. For this seated chest press, I have to show you guys this little tip. The yoga block. Dude, I've been doing it's safe because I have shoulder injuries from like jujitsu and shit. So like you pull this, you shove a yoga block, a foam roller works as well. Other side, pull it. And what this is gonna do is now when I'm pressing, it puts me in a nice position to start where my scapula aren't rotated forward. If this thing was back here, I'd be pressing from like right here. Instead, I'm able to get into this nice position right here.
And it's also good to have these positions like towards your armpit chest area, because some people will have these up high or too low. So you want to have the bar, this part, close to the nipple chest area.
So from here, guys, what they have found with this machine is you definitely don't need to lock out. There's gonna be a lot of triceps at the end of this movement. So when I do this, I like to just go about right here. You'll see those yoga blocks just fall. Boom. I like to get a good stretch and then up to here. You do not need to be repping this where you're locking it out here and going like this. That's gonna be a lot of other stuff right there. So boom, just like that. What's also cool about this, you can get some forced reps. So I'm gonna pretend I went to failure right here. I can start to get those just like this until I really can't anymore. Then I'm putting the weight down. So now we're gonna do cable crossovers. You can find these in pretty much any gym. We're gonna really be targeting sort of that inner pec is what this feels like. This gives me a really good pump when I do these.
I like the stretch and also the inner pec and the squeeze. And the thing is you wanna find what's comfortable for you. So this is high, but it's comfortable for me because I know the angle that I wanna do. And you have to find what fits you. Come out a little bit so you have some tension. And here you're like you're gonna hug somebody. Crossover. Open up with control, crossover. And the thing too is it doesn't have to be really heavy weight. Eventually you'll get to the heavy weight, but you want the repetitions. And then when it starts getting really heavy and you're on your last one, then you can throw some body English into it. So check this out.
Yes.
There you go.
There was a study showing that force reps do build muscle. So if you're using decent form, you will see me on my last reps throwing a little bit of lean into it. There's nothing wrong with that. The body works as a whole.
So like when you guys saw me doing the little step forward, that's when you're like at your last rep and your last set and you want to get some more growth and the extra pump in there. But make sure when you're going forward, you get that little squeeze and you can come back and get that squeeze. And then that's when you start growing.
So by now you got a good chest pump going. Let's go to the dips. You want to be hitting dips for that kind of like lower chest. Yes, exactly. And if you do them this way, they'll hit your chest a lot. You are gonna get some triceps in there, which is all good. For the dip, you set up, find a good comfortable position with your hands. You wanna have your wrists stacked. So you don't wanna have your wrists like this or like this. You wanna have your wrists nice and stacked. You're gonna come all the way up. And I like to forward lean a little bit. So I get set here, I'm gonna lean forward a little bit and I'm gonna go all the way down to where I feel comfortable, about right there. And I'm gonna press up, boom. just like this. Dips are absolutely crucial. Really building that lower chest.
And he has really good form here. And if you can go down a little bit lower to get a little more stretch without hurting your shoulders, it's okay. The only way you're gonna get hurt doing something is if you're being careless and you're trying to show off. Like this is perfect right here.
Now we are getting into the triceps. Now listen, so many guys want big arms. It's a big thing. Talk to them about how they might wanna hit a little more triceps than biceps for that arm.
You wanna hit your triceps more because there's actually 3 muscles. For the word tri, it means 3 in Latin. So, and it also pushes up your bicep a lot more and it gives it the width.
And it's also really key for elbow pain prevention. So many people get pain in their elbows just with sports and stuff. The tricep movements can help prevent a lot of that. So one of the best exercises is gonna be your standard rope. Now you can find your normal rope at the gym. If they have a longer rope, use that. Or you can get 2 of the normal ropes and put them on there. Luckily for us, we have this machine right here with this like nice long rope. We're gonna go here. We're gonna roll our shoulders back a bit and we're gonna get down here. We feel the tension on the triceps now. And now it's really back, boom. And you don't also wanna go up too much. You're not coming up here and going like this, maybe on your last rep if you're really trying to throw, but you're here and you only need to come up to about right here. Now we are at the seated dumbbell skull crusher. I love these. So for these, it's like a pretty similar setup to that like chest press. You're falling back, but now we're gonna bring the elbows in a little bit. We're gonna press the weight up just like this. And we're gonna bring the weight here, loading the tricep. And then I'm gonna bring it up. AMG, let's walk them through this. Why do you like this exercise?
It's really good because it really focuses on your triceps. And when you bring the dumbbells down, you want to come to about forehead area and press up.
So yeah, 2 to 3 sets. Here's what I do in my tricep day. And I'm going to failure. That last rep again, guys, if I'm really doing it, I'm like, I'm fighting, and then I'm done.
All right, so right here, we're gonna do tricep kickbacks. And you can do these with the cables, and dumbbells is the #1. I'll show you guys how to do it right now. So what you're going to do is be right here. You can, for stabilization, put your leg back, keep your elbow, your shoulder back, and then just kick back. Just like when Brendan was showing his shoulders back on the cable, same thing.
Yeah, because if you don't get that shoulder back, it's just not optimal for tricep. Like when you get your shoulder back, you really start to activate the tricep more. Now we are going to get to the most popular, this is the most popular muscle. Everyone wants to grow their biceps. It's like so key. Everyone wants biceps like AMG Muscle right here. So we're gonna show you some of the best bicep exercises right now. And what are some tips that you have for bicep growth overall?
So when you're doing biceps sitting or standing, you want to try not to do so much body English. So when you have this, put your back against it so your bicep is doing all the work. You don't have to lift super heavy weight to get big biceps, believe it or not. Eventually, within time, you'll be able to lift heavier weights like 50s and 60s. But the most important thing is to have the proper form for growth.
There's multiple different things you can do, but this is going to be your bread and butter for building your biceps, is getting some dumbbells so you can, get 10, 12 reps, whatever it is, 8 to 12 reps with your biceps to failure. You're gonna be doing these for the rest of your life if you're trying to build good biceps. So you don't want your wrist to like break this way, and you don't want them to overly curl this way, right? You want them to be just like right here. And now I'm rolling my shoulders back a little bit because I don't want them to be crazy forward like this. I'm here, and I'm gonna curl up here, and I'm gonna let that weight come all the way down. Just like this, curling, and I'm letting the weight come down.
You can you turn your hands in, and then turn and curl.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes, I love these.
For some people, like for me, it's hard to do them like that.
Yeah.
So I have to start here and then turn.
Sweet, and now let's walk them through one of the other most popular exercises for arm growth, which is the hammer curl. So for the hammer curl, what am I looking to do?
So your hammer curl is you want to hold it, and when you bring it up, you get a nice squeeze, just like with the hammer. And what it works on is this part right here, your brachialis. So now you get a 3D look on the bicep, because you got this popping, and then now you got this part right here as well.
And there's nothing wrong with doing the standard varieties, but like you're saying, you just have to make sure to be stable. So if I'm coming here, I'm not all like crazy. I'm getting my core tight, I'm getting my ribs down, and I'm curling here, okay? And it's fine on that last rep to give a little bit, but you do not want to be doing that for all your reps.
No, not all your reps, but there is a proper way to cheat is what you want to do. Is so when you're coming up and it's getting hard, sit down. Automatically, your biceps are going to come up. It's just the way the body works.
Let's get into another bicep variety that every single gym has. Let's have you do that one for the people.
So inner curls, that works the outer head of your bicep. The word bi is Latin for two. And then you do outer, it gets the inner head. So when you go to flex or walk around, you have a full bicep. And there's different variations to do this as well. You can do it right in front of you here. You can drag it.
And guys, notice his wrist here, okay? So like we don't have the wrist breaking either way. You know, and you can get some form in there. There's nothing wrong, but if your wrists are going this way, you need to lower the weight or just lock in on your form.
And if you notice, so when I do the drag, take a look. My elbows go back a little bit and the bar is right on my abdomen.
All right, we are at the preacher curl machine. This is one that I see people butcher the form of. And you know, AMG people will be like, it's a dangerous machine. No, it's not a dangerous machine. People just do it wrong.
Yes, they do. They overextend, or they're just putting way too much weight and they just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, this is a great machine. So guys, I am short. I'm gonna put this seat up a good amount. People sometimes will have the seat way too low. If the seat is way too low for me, let's see what that looks like. Look at how extended I am. I'm almost in an armbar position like Albert had me in at Surf Fight Jiu-Jitsu yesterday. I wanna raise that seat up and then I want my elbows to be in line with the fulcrum of this machine. With a lot of the machine exercises that we do, you're gonna see this as a common theme, whether it's hamstring or quads or back, there is a fulcrum of this machine. Right now, it's about right here. So my elbow's roughly in line with that. My wrist position, again, I'm not overly like curled here and I'm not extended here. Strong wrist, gazing forward, feet on the ground to create stability, abs slightly flexed, and I'm going to contract just like I'm kind of pulling through almost my forehead. I like to, you know, like boom, nice and slow on the eccentric.
Yep.
Boom.
And you don't even have to go all the way down.
Yep, you can just go to right here. Yep. Boom.
And the same thing is it doesn't have to be super heavy weight. Eventually you'll get there. The most important thing is form and technique.
That is so key, and you know, we said it at the beginning, but I'll say it again. There are studies showing people doing 30 reps, up to 25 to 30 reps, but they're going to failure, and they have the same muscle growth as people doing lower reps. Now, what does this mean? Should you be doing 25 to 30 reps? No. There's some element of muscular fatigue there, but it's to show that you do not need to do everything in this 5-6 rep scheme. You know, there hasn't been insane studies on it, but I think anybody who's been bodybuilding like you would kind of say back, legs, those muscles seem to like some of that lower rep, heavy. They like it. Your nervous system can put in that drive there. But for some stuff like arms, calves, I like to just get those muscles pumped up and a bit higher rep personally.
For me, the smaller muscles, my body responds with higher repetitions.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, when it comes to quad day, I can actually do higher reps. The weight isn't super heavy, but it's at a medium weight, but I can do a lot of reps to feel the burn. And if you think about it, you walk on your legs all day, so why can't you do 20 reps?
Yeah, let's get on to the next exercise, and we're gonna hit the delts and some shoulders, basically. Let's go get it. All right, so continuing with those rear delts, this is one of my favorite machines for rear delts, and honestly, just posture in general. This machine is amazing, so let me show you. A lot of people set up the seat too low here. Even like, you know, my friends who are tall, you need to set it up higher than you might think because you don't wanna be too low for the rear delts. You're gonna lean forward like this, and now we're gonna hit the rear delts. We're gonna have a slight scapular retraction is what I like to do. And I'm going here, I'm holding, and then I'm nice and controlled. Just like that, feeling that stretch, like feeling the contraction, like I'm trying to squeeze a quarter in my shoulder blades. So what do you like about this machine?
I like it because it's isolated and it takes all the body English out.
And for me, like posture and injury prevention wise, nothing gets right here better than this machine. You're gonna be hitting the rear delts, which are right here, but you also just get this amazing like opening effect from this machine. And there's a variety of ways you can do it. Find what feels comfortable for you on the handles, but every gym has this machine, so hammer this one for your rear delts. All right, so now we're gonna get into more rear delts. We're gonna use the dumbbells again. We're gonna hit multiple aspects of the deltoid muscle, but for right now, dumbbells, side and rear delts, so
okay,
let's hit it.
So when you guys do the side shoulders, The most important thing is, I'm gonna show you really quick, is you want your elbow higher than your shoulders. This is what you wanna look like.
Perfect.
Even with heavier weight, it's the same thing.
A lot of people will use too much weight when they start this exercise, so they're really swinging it.
Yeah, so you like 30 pounds is it's good for me, but I can go up to 50 with proper form. And you have to remember, your shoulders are small muscles, so eventually you'll get to the heavier weight with proper form.
Yeah, guys, so if he's gonna be grabbing 30s, 40s, 50s, that means you watching this, do not be ashamed of grabbing some 10s, bro. Do not, because if this dude's using 50s, you gotta, do the math. You don't want to be swinging those weights around. You want to actually get your muscles to grow and keep your tendons and ligaments safe.
And the other part too is when you start to feel like you can't get it up with proper form anymore, just go like this.
Yep.
And it's still getting your shoulders.
Yeah.
And do it till it burns and you can't go anymore.
Yep, yep.
And that's what I do, and it works.
All right, now we are going to get into some of the shoulder cable exercises. Now, there's a bunch of stuff you can do with these guys. We're just going to cover some of the basic ones right now. Again, same rep scheme. You're doing a little warm up to feel it, and then you're going to do like 2 sets to failure. For right now, we're just going to show you the form. Let's get it.
You want to come up to about your forehead and then come down.
Notice his ribs are not flaring up tons when he's doing these guys. He is not using a weight where he needs to flare. He's centered right here, and he's coming up just like that, using all of the shoulders. Yeah, these are great because of the cable. You can take this hard. You can take it close to failure or all the way to failure, throw in even some partial reps. There's a variety of ways to do this, guys.
Yeah, you can even use the single arm, single handle,
yeah,
and do what I'm doing, just with single hand. The same thing with the side.
Continuing with these shoulders now, we're gonna get into basic military press. Now, there's a variety of ways to do this. A lot of people go way too far, like back here and all this stuff. Again, you wanna be about right here, and you wanna press this weight up. Now, AMG, walk them through what you like to do here. Wrists stacked, obviously my wrists are not broken, that's a key thing.
Yeah, so you wanna keep, like if you had a barbell, that's exactly what you're doing. Keep it nice and straight, and you wanna come up, it's almost like a round. Do like a nice round. And you can go, you wanna go a little past 90 with no discomfort, and you'll be fine. I promise you, you'll be fine if you go past 90. You won't hurt your shoulder. As long as you're in control and you can manage the weight, you'll be fine. This is how I like to do my shoulder military press.
Yep, perfect.
One, it's because it's a lot easier and I don't have to turn. This way, it's just a lot easier for me.
Yeah, a lot of these varieties, guys, when you find something that works well with your shoulders, you're gonna have more longevity in lifting, yes, and you're still gonna be getting that muscular hypertrophy that we talked about as long as you're training to failure. And now we're gonna get into probably, again, one of the most important muscles is just the back. And now there's so many muscles of the back. Your lats, guys, aren't just right here. Your lats actually insert way up here and go all the way down to the glute right here. So the lat is very key, but there's also infraspinatus, there's your rhomboids. You need to have a healthy, strong back for a variety of reasons, but just for like longevity and health overall. So first exercise we're going to get into is a seated row. We're gonna do the cable variety. Let's go get it. So now we're gonna do this single arm row, and we're gonna cover some basics with the back. For the single arm row, I like to put one foot up and have my opposing leg, the same one that I'm gonna be rowing with, like this on the ground. Now, here's the thing for back, guys. You do not need to row the weight like crazy far. If you are rowing this weight too far, your shoulder is actually gonna come forward. You see right about here, my shoulder glides forward. You don't need that to gain muscle on your back. So when rowing, you're just gonna row to right here. And when you see my elbow, it's tucked in. You can have it somewhere around here, but again, you don't want your elbow crazy out. That's hitting different muscles of the back, which we'll show you. For right now, I'm here, boom. I'm letting my scapula glide, and I'm coming right here with that single arm row, just like that. This is a really good stable exercise, so there's not a lot of movement going on. I put my other hand right here to support. Same thing, just like that. I like to get a good squeeze, and then come forward, boom. You'll see some people do a variety where they come here to create more stability, basically, and they come here, and they row like that. That's fine, and you really want your scapula to glide. You don't want to be completely retracted while you do everything and be here. Your scapula is important to have it move, and it's going to help you gain muscle. So get a good single arm row. Here we are at the T-bar row. Now, almost every gym has a T-bar row. If you don't have one, you could get on a bench, lay kind of on it and do like that type of row, but I see this at almost every single gym. For the setup for the T-bar row, you want to find a height on the machine where when you reach down, you can find this thing. You don't have to overreach and you don't want to have it up here. I like this one because it has this grip right here, which is horizontal, but this grip will totally work. So what I like to do to center myself is I pull my scapula back a little bit, just like this, then I come down. Now I'm not gonna rotate over to find the weight because I have to rotate it anyway. So I'm just gonna find it right here, pick it up, and move it just like this. From here, I'm letting my scapula glide across and I'm pulling up and contracting just like this, holding it right there. Down, and this feels really good on my back. I love how this machine feels. And obviously there's multiple varieties. We can come into here, we're just gonna hit more of the lats versus the upper back. Same thing, holding just like that, letting it glide down, pulling back, holding. You can get some, you know, cheat reps in here, like coming like this, but you definitely do not want to be having your chest off this machine and be like this. So as I was talking about, when we see AMG using this machine, we see his chest on the machine for stability, and we don't see him like moving around too much. All that's moving is he's pulling from his elbows, he's pulling back, and he's getting a contraction in his back. This is one of the best machines you can use to build thickness in your back, especially in that upper back. And if you want to hit some lats, just switch up the grip. And when you are pulling, can you describe people through the mind-muscle connection of where are you pulling from? You know, like those coaching cues for people when they're actually pulling a weight.
Make sure when you're pulling, you pull with your back muscles first. It seems kind of weird, but you pull with your back, like, see, you can see it, and then my biceps come into play.
Absolutely. So now we're at the lat pull down, and we're also going to talk about some pull-ups to hit the lats, but for a lot of people, they just can't do like 10, 12 good form pull-ups. I see a lot of people swinging and stuff, so lat pull down can definitely be your best friend to sort of build up to that. Yes. And even if you can do pull-ups, lat pull downs are still just amazing. So we're going to get into the setup here. So with the setup, you do want this knee pad to be relatively tight on your knees. So I like to set that up before, so right there for me is gonna be a good position. Now, there's a variety of grips you can do to hit different muscles, but I like to just get, I don't know how to describe it, like sort of a grip that's slightly farther than shoulder width for this traditional lat pull down. And I grip this thing hard, okay? Again, that shoulder stability. I'm gonna come down right here. And now when I pull this down, I am not pulling with my body this way. I am retracting my scapula and pulling just like this. I have a slight lean back, right? But not a crazy lean back. So let's talk him through it while I'm hitting some reps.
Yeah, so when he's coming down, he wants to pull with your lats, and you want to like do it like a pinch almost. When you bring your elbows into like a pinch, so you get max contraction in your lats.
I want this bar going pretty close to my face, guys, so I'm not out here like pulling like this. This is gonna be so much arms, it's crazy. I want to come here and have this bar glide right in front of my face and go to right under my chin. I don't need to pull it much farther than that. I'm getting enough contraction right now. And now we're just going to reverse the grip. So same thing. I like to do these a lot. Really depends on what you like. But let's talk them through some of this grip right here. What's going to be some of the differences?
So on this one, you may feel more in your biceps, but you want to do your best to pull with your back first so it looks like this. And then you come down. And then when you go up, pull with your back and then come down.
All right, we covered a lot of the back, and I do want to throw in one low back exercise for you guys because I see a lot of people get injuries in the low back. So you want to, anything that gets injured a lot, you need to strengthen. For this one, you want to set this up where the upper pads are in your hips. This one's set a little low right now, so about right there. I could even do one higher, just like that. The upper pads are into my hip bones, just like there. You're gonna come down. I like to grab a weight. I usually will grab a 35 or 45 pound plate like this. And when you're coming up, you're using your glutes and low back like this. I'm sort of in this hollow position and I feel my glutes and low back working. Right here, boom. You're not overextending, so I'm not gonna come up like this. I'm coming right here, boom. And now we are going to get into legs. So legs, I used to hate on back in the day. Now they're like one of my favorite things to work, man. Last couple years, I've been loving it. First thing is gonna be Bulgarians. Legs, guys, I like to pop my shoes off if your gym allows it. Now, for the Bulgarian, there's a variety of ways you can go about this. This setup is great. A lot of people aren't gonna have this thing. It's no different if I'm just coming here and I'm just putting my toes onto a bench. It's no different, just like this. For the setup for the Bulgarian, you don't want to have your foot hopped out crazy far, so you're overextended like this, and you don't want to have it right next to the machine, so you're like this. Find a good, you know, medium spot, and you want to be able to drive your knee over your toe. Back in the day, people got like scared of that. Yeah. No, it's actually the opposite. You want to have good knees over toes. So the Bulgarian, you're coming here, and you're driving up with this leg, you're feeling that glute, and have a slight lean forward. I'm not back here overextended. I'm not leaning way too far forward. A slight lean forward. To load this exercise up, you can hold weight in one hand if you want, or you can hold weight in both hands. I like doing one hand. I'm gonna come down. Everything's nice and controlled, just like this.
So everyone has their style of doing it, and his is perfectly good. Fine, because it works for him, and for me it's a little different. I like to be more of a 90, and that's what works for me because I feel it more in my my quad where you're supposed to feel it. But that's what works for me. But you have to find what they say your sweet spot, but make sure you don't injure yourself.
For the quads, quad extensions are key. So to set up this exercise, I see a lot of people like coming out of the seat with this. It's not good. Like, you need to pull yourself down into it. And it's okay to lean back.
And you want to pretend that this bar is going through your knees.
Yes, that's that fulcrum. So if you need to adjust the machine. You want your knees to be in line with that fulcrum, like AMG was just saying. And as far as this pad right here, I like to set it up so I can have a slight bend in my ankles. I don't want it to be too high, where it's like up here and it's like on my shins. And I don't want it to be crazy low where my feet are extended and my ankles are in sort of a compromised position. And as far as this part goes of the machine, you want this fully as maximum as it'll go that way, so you can get the ultimate, yeah, that's the most important part of the movement right there. So from here, I'm gonna pull myself down, I'm gonna lean back a little bit, and I'm gonna extend up. Boom. I like to hold for a second.
It's always good to have a 1-2 hold and come down.
Yep. And this machine, guys, when I'm actually doing this, I love going to failure on this one lately. It's so fun. And when I'm going to failure on this, guys, I'm coming, and then my last reps are like, then I'm just dying on this machine, and you feel this insane pump in the quads.
Yes, you do.
Absolutely love it. This is a crucial one. Guys, machines like this are so crucial. I used to be one of these, more functional fitness guys, which I still do a lot of functional stuff, kettlebell stuff, but I hated on the machines a little bit. And it was wrong to hate on the machines because you're so stable here that you're isolating the quad and you can push to failure here. That is how you get that musculoskeletal growth that we're talking about. So machines like this, guys, huge fan. Let me show you the next one for your legs that you need to be hitting. Now we're at the hamstring curl machine. So hamstring curl machine, same thing. You want to set this up where this part is high up there.
You want to be extended, yeah. A little overextended.
You want to get this pad down, like press it in where you're like that. You're gonna be pulling, and if anything, you can lean forward a little bit, and you're gonna be contracting the hamstrings. Now, when we see like the bodybuilder guys, like you do this, they do it right where you're really trying to drive the weight and almost slam in the back. Obviously, more controlled than that, but first I'm doing, and then I'm controlling, and you'll eventually get to a point in your set where it's really hard to find that end of that machine. I'm like, and then I'm nice and slow and controlled, and you can really feel the hamstrings working. You talk about knee injury prevention. If you have strong hamstrings, it's gonna help you so much. And then when you're going to failure, you're at the top and you're at these force reps here, digging. And again, just like we talked about, fulcrum of the machine is through my knees right here. This is the fulcrum of the machine. It is going through my knee line right here. That is how you set up these machines to work optimally and to not get injured.
And the other thing too, for you young cats who don't know about your hamstrings, they work the same exact way as your bicep. See how your bicep goes like this? Now imagine this is your leg. It's doing the same exact thing, and you don't have to lift super heavy weight for your hamstrings to grow. The heavy weight does help as long as you have control.
Let's get into one of my favorite mass building exercises for the legs, the hack squat.
So right here we have Brendan on like a sled angled hack squat. So right here, that's a hack squat. Here's a hack squat. And then now you got a sled hack squat. These ones are more common in your gyms, these ones right here. So when you get yourself positioned, You want to be inside, be pushed all the way back, and you want to keep your feet flat on the surface right here.
The reason I like the hack squat, guys, is it's very safe. There is nothing wrong with squatting. If you know how to squat well, do it. It's great for musculoskeletal growth. Leg press is also great. We'll show you some leg press. But for the hack squat, you're gonna come up like this. I'm gonna walk my feet out, and you see, this is where I feel comfortable, okay? You wanna set up this machine, just try a few reps, no weight, obviously, and then load up some weight. When I come down, I'm keeping my back against the machine. I'm getting that drive, and I'm pressing up. Yeah, you wanna come nice and low on this. I like to come all the way down, and then I drive up.
Come down on your heels and drive on your toes.
Yep. And then if you want, you can always elevate your toes. So we just showed you guys how to do some of those reps right there. Hack squat, I love going to failure on this thing because if I go all the way to failure, which happens sometimes, unless I don't have a friend with me to, spot me, if you go to failure on this machine and you die right here, you're done. You're totally safe to get out of this machine just like that. And now we're at the leg press machine. Every single gym has a leg press, guys. And
any workout you do, you want to make sure you can get proper reps, proper form, and technique. That's the most important thing. If you put a bunch of plates on here and you have horrible form, you're actually just wasting your time. Go home. So if you have your feet close together, it gets an outer sweep of your quads. If you have them like shoulder width apart, it gets more of the inner part of your quads, the inner side of your legs. And also, in the higher up you go on this leg press machine, it gets your hamstrings.
And you want to get deep on this machine. Yes. That's the thing. That's why it's really good. So like, obviously we're not loading it up today, guys, but like we're going to come right here. And every leg press is different, but they're all similar to this. Here, you're going to press it up, get rid of the safeties, grip these, and sort of pull yourself down into it. And right here, I'm going to go down all the way. And you want to get to a place, it's, ankle mobility is at play here, low back mobility. You do not want your low back to be rounding. So if that's right here for you, that's where you're at. If that's all the way down, keep on going. For me, I can go all the way down, and then I'm going to press up just like this. Like you were saying, there's a million different things you can do with your feet. I could come right here, and guys, I'm going to feel this in a different area. I can come far out here and wide. I'm going to feel this in a different area. For me, most of the time, I like to come to about right here. Get that knees over toes like we were talking about. I'm focused on trying to build my quads more. I got good glute development, so I'm trying to get the quads. So I like that knees over toes, and I'm gonna come right there. So this leg press, absolutely crucial for leg day. If you're a beginner, guys, and you try to throw in on your leg day, heavy leg press, heavy hack squat, heavy Bulgarians, quad extensions, and hamstrings, that might be a little too much. For me personally, I would do like hack squat and Bulgarians, and then I would do the quad extensions and hamstring curls. That is what I would personally do for our leg day. Now, let's briefly touch on some of the other accessory movements. The groin contractors and some of the hip abductors, hip thrust. All those are great movements. I think a lot of gyms don't have access to some good machines there.
I get the most benefit from on the hip abductors and abductors, a lot of reps. I do a lot of reps out and a lot of reps in. And when you do them in, for some reason, it hurts to walk the next day. Like I say, I just got off a horse or something.
Now, it wouldn't be legs unless we touched on a muscle group that a lot of people can't grow or say they can't grow, calves.
Calves, I do calves on the leg press machine. If they have a calf machine, the seating one, I do a lot of single calf raises.
Perfect. We're gonna show you guys two varieties for calves. Let's show them on the leg press first because everybody has access to this thing.
So I usually do one leg. You come down, and you extend. Get that nice stretch and extend.
Notice he is dorsiflexing all the way here, getting that contraction, and he's pressing, and you feel this calf activate.
And you wanna have your ball of your foot on there.
Yes, the ball of the foot. So he doesn't have way too much of his foot on there, and he doesn't just have his toes on there. So it's the ball of the foot, and he's driving through his big toe and all of his toes, but mainly his big toe to get that calf contraction. And how do you like to do like reps and sets for
I do like 5 sets of 20.
Yeah.
Because your legs are big, strong muscles, so go at it. So when you do calves, you want to have this nice and secure on your legs, like kind of above the knee, and keep the ball of your feet on the platform. And then lock this in, and the same thing. Get that nice stretch and bring it up. Nice stretch and bring it up.
Foot positioning is so key here. Again, the ball of your feet, driving through that big toe. You don't want the edge of your toes on the thing, and you don't want your whole foot on the thing. And this is so key. A lot of people are just getting these injuries in their Achilles and their calf.
Yeah.
And when you have strong calves, it's just so good for sports overall, jumping, everything.
Yep, and eventually you'll get the heavier weight. Don't load plates on there thinking you can lift all this weight. Just gradually you'll get there.
Yeah, when I do this, I usually throw in like a 45, maybe a little more weight, and I'm just getting that high rep like you're talking about for the calf, getting that pump. I do like to hit calves at the beginning of my leg workout. I have found that it really enhances my ankle mobility, gets some good blood flow going there, and then I like to hit my more compound movements. I have a little sweat going, even though we haven't done a lot of weight. We've done like every exercise for you guys. Now we're gonna get to the last thing, abs. So now we're at the abs. Look, every guy wants abs. It's like one of the most crucial things ever. So when we actually talk about abs, a lot of it is conditioning. The main reason you will see people with abs is low body fat, okay? Yeah. If I put on a bunch of body fat, my abs would disappear. Now they're still under there, but they would be under fat. So.
And what a lot of people don't know is your abs are working all the time, 100%. Any workout you're doing, walking, running, getting up, standing up, bending over, your abs is your core. It's your natural weight belt.
Now, science-based exercises have shown us that when your pelvis is rotating, that's really what works the abs. Now, I know a lot of people, and I do this too. We do it at jiu-jitsu. Every time we go to jiu-jitsu practice, they make us do a lot of crunches, side crunches, planks. There are benefits to those exercises, but if you want to keep it simple and find an exercise you can train to failure, the reverse crunch is going to be your best friend. You're going to find a decline bench like this. You're going to grab up here. You're going to raise right here. And now I'm literally just bringing my knees to my forehead, rolling my pelvis up, just like this. And you feel a contraction in your abs. You don't need to do an insanely big movement for this. Just right here. I'm isolating my abs. I can really feel that. And I'll usually do about 20-something reps of this, and I will go to failure, and I'll do 2 to 3 sets. And it's brutal. When I'm actually doing these guys, like when I'm coming up on the last rep, like I'm like, oh, and I like come up and I'm just dead. That's really all you need for your abs and good conditioning.
Because when your legs are up in the air, your abs are contracted the whole time because you have to use your abs to keep your legs up like that. So it's very good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, there you go. There's a library for you guys on how to work out. I think people overcomplicate building muscle.
Yes.
You come in here, you pick a few of those exercises. People are busy, man. You pick a few exercises from below, pick 2 body parts, and hammer them over and over again. Yep. And eat well, eat a lot, and you will gain muscle. AMG, thank you so much. I want to give you some electrolytes from us.
Thank you.
Yes, some star fruit and some mango.
Hell yeah.
Scoop of those before you lift.
And I just want to tell Brendan, thank you so much for inviting me to come help out.
Absolutely.
It means a lot to me, and it also means a lot for the younger generation, for people who have no idea what it is to work out or what it's like, or even what to do. Now you have a little tutorial, a little bit of help, and a little bit of push.
I started out with 10-pound dumbbells in my room. I'm sure you have a similar story, bro.
Everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah, everybody starts somewhere, and like if I knew some of the, science-based stuff, like dude, you can just, guys, you can be at home doing push-ups, doing some of those dumbbell exercises that are in this video, and if you stay consistent with it, you'll just get bigger and bigger and healthier and healthier. Let's go. Appreciate you guys. As always, like and subscribe. Go check out AMG Muscle. He is tagged below. And get in the damn gym and go lift some weights. Let's go.
That's right, baby.